Disney just sent a cease and desist letter to Google in order to protect the copyright of their characters, which would have been understandable had they not announced their intent to monetize user-generated AI content themselves. So, is this some epochal hypocrisy, or is there more to this? Let's find out. This video is sponsored by Black Forest Supplements. There are some good uses for AI, few would deny that. Problem is, there are many bad ones as well. So far though, most of the AI that is visible to the public at any rate is various assorted brain rot in social media.
I paid for all you can eat! I'm still eating!
Is he on the table? Sir, I'm gonna need you to step down right now. Not till I'm finished. The buffet is for everyone. Please, come down before someone gets hurt.
I bought the right to this mountain of food and I'm staying
Somebody
right
call
here!
security.
While body positivity activists may react to content like that actually does serve as a template for the kind of content that Disney wants you to make for them for free, so they can monetize it. Because if they can't, as Google is finding out the hard way, there will be repercussions. We're about to take a deep dive into this. But first, let's talk about the bone marrow hack that damn near makes those 50 grand stem cell injections that the rich and famous travel to Mexico to get obsolete. You see, your own bone marrow already has millions of stem cells locked up and in stasis. It's just a matter of waking them up and setting them free, so they can go where they're needed to prevent you from slowly weakening and withering away. And this powder with cocoa flavonols sets them in motion. Here's Dr. Simon Mills, one of the top herbal medicine researchers in the world.
Dark chocolate is a medicine. End of. One of the best medicines around is 50 grams, 100 grams of 75% or more dark chocolate. Brain health as well, cardiovascular health. They do studies where they've put cocoa into volunteers, that means students usually, so young kids, and they were able to show changes in their blood flow within minutes, certainly within an hour of eating cocoa. Beneficial changes in your blood flow.
They call it the heart medicine.
Yeah, heart, circulation, brain, but it also, of course, we know it contains a few other beneficial stimulating effects, sort of similar to the effects with coffee, which incidentally, as I've already said, is a medicine as well. But cocoa and chocolate does have an uplifting effect, which is why we love it so.
For those who are thinking regular chocolate, hot or otherwise, is going to work for you, I got bad news. The flavonols were destroyed when everything you get over the counter was processed. Black Forest, however, extracts the very flavonols that activates your stem cells, which in turn fix what needs fixing. Even old injuries that you feel more as you age might get better. And for the next 48 hours, you can get 40% off your next order. After 48 hours though, prices go back to normal, so act now and don't miss out on the 40% off promo. Link is in the description and pinned comment. And with that, let's look at what seems like stunning hypocrisy in Disney's end. Hollywood is in chaos right now, and it is a chaos of the key decision makers and movers within Hollywood's own making. Consider, when streaming first started making waves behind the scenes, Hollywood should have fought it tooth and nail with every means at their disposal. Instead, they embraced it, killing off the far more profitable physical media and multiple other revenue streams in the process. And on top of that, they then engaged in a streaming war, which drove away the audience from theaters and drew everyone to the high seas. Then, when the key decision makers and movers had the opportunity to reject AI in favor of craftsmanship when it still might have made a difference, they instead became early adopters of AI at different levels behind the scenes, thus becoming pioneers in AI-driven job cutting. Not content with that, Disney now wants you, the fans, to use AI to create content for them, using their characters, free of charge and for their benefit. Deadline Hollywood has the story. Disney Inc.'s blockbuster $1 billion deal with OpenAI, handing characters over to Sora, which reads, "The Hollywood giant has signed a major deal with OpenAI, investing $1 billion in the artificial intelligence giant and handing over characters from Frozen and Star Wars to generative AI video app Sora." It is comfortably the most significant collaboration between a Hollywood studio and an AI company to date, and suggests Disney has taken the view, if you can't beat them, join them. The 3-year licensing agreement will allow Sora users to create bespoke fan videos with the likes of Captain America, Yoda, and Moana. A selection of these videos will stream on Disney+, which the company hinted at during an earnings call last month. You know what was not hinted at though? The makers of these fan videos actually getting paid for them, which to me indicates that they feel that to the pleb, their work being featured on Disney Plus should be payment enough. Indeed, if we jump forward in the story, it quotes Sam Altman, co-founder and CEO of OpenAI, as saying, "This agreement shows how AI companies and creative leaders can work together responsibly to promote innovation that benefits society, respect the importance of creativity, and help works reach vast new audiences." And that, presumably, should be its own reward for creating free content that, if good enough, will find its way to Disney+, where it will be part of Disney's overall content offering. Why would they do this? Well, my hunch is the reason is that user-generated content now has gotten so good that they can, which doesn't really speak well for their own pool of writers and animators, who, as Film Threat revealed a while back, for the last few years were hired based on their identity more so than their talent. But let's jump back a bit to where we left off. Sora 2, the most sophisticated iteration of the app, caused outrage among rights holders when it launched in October. It adopted an opt-out policy, meaning IP was usable on the app until a rights holder issued a removal request. That means anyone could make just about anything until copyright holders objected, which resulted in, well, not full movies, but certainly some brief teases that actually looked better than much of what the big studios themselves have produced these past few years. Disney wants some of that for themselves. As the story continues, Disney is now opting in, and in a big way. It is the first major content licensing partner on Sora, which enables users to create short-form videos with text prompts. And later on, Bob Iger is quoted, "Bringing together Disney's iconic stories and characters with OpenAI's groundbreaking technology puts imagination and creativity directly into the hands of Disney fans in ways we've never seen before, giving them richer and more personal ways to connect with the Disney characters and stories they love." The write-up then continues, what appears to be off the table is exploiting the performances of actors, with the press release noting that Disney and OpenAI will respect the rights of individuals to appropriately control the use of their voice and likeness. Which means unless you use the likeness of an actor that really objects, and it's otherwise really respectful, good and created in Sora, then Disney may very well claim it as theirs. And if you do that same thing somewhere other than Sora, where deals aren't in place, well then they'll simply send a cease and desist alongside accusations of massive AI copyright abuse. That Park Place reads, Disney has ignited one of the most explosive entertainment tech fights of the year, accusing Google of using artificial intelligence to unlawfully copy and distribute Disney characters on a massive scale. The allegations, spelled out in a cease and desist letter sent Wednesday evening, mark an extraordinary escalation between two of the most powerful companies in the world and raise new questions about how big tech is handling copyrighted material inside their AI models. And moving forward a bit, according to the letter reviewed by Variety, attorneys for Disney allege that Google copied a significant portion of Disney's copyrighted catalog without authorization in order to train its generative AI systems. The letter states, Google is infringing Disney's copyrights on a massive scale by copying a large corpus of Disney's copyrighted works without authorization and by using AI models and services to commercially exploit and distribute copies of its protected works. Okay, let's pause for 1 second to see what this really means, because Disney kind of has a point here. As we saw a little while ago, Sora made it so that any character was free game until the copyright holder issued a removal request. And that is no coincidence. The way this works is that generative AI models, not just Sora but all of them, are trained on enormous datasets scraped from the internet. That's billions of images, videos, and text pulled indiscriminately from websites, social media, and public archives, without permission from the respective creators. Disney's properties, like those of all other companies, end up in these datasets, not because they were raided directly, but because they're everywhere online, in official trailers, in fan art, merchandise photos, and even ripped frames and scenes from movies. During training, the AI doesn't copy exact files into its brain, if you will. Instead, it crunches them through neural networks to learn statistical patterns. Like how to render a blue-skinned alien, or how a lightsaber fight is composed, or how a singing Ice Queen's dress is flowing in the wind. This creates a compressed understanding, if you will, of styles, poses, and compositions, allowing the model to, on user prompt, spit out new derivative content on demand, like Darth Vader surfing or something like that. In other words, Google's AI knows what Darth Vader looks like and can recreate him, which from Disney's point of view is very, very bad. Unless there is a deal in place in which Disney sees a return from it, like this here billion-dollar OpenAI deal, then it's fine for Disney. Morally, there are no good guys here. Let's begin with the AI companies, and again, not just Google, but a lot of them. The way they train AI is by hoovering up copyrighted material en masse because it's cheap and efficient, betting on fair use defenses in court, all while raking in ad revenue from the resulting tools. The actual creators gave no consent and received no royalties, as the AI just helped itself from decades of the work of others, including Disney. And many creatives are awfully sensitive about that. Even we've had to deal with the occasional artist who couldn't cope with some graphic they made being displayed for 8 seconds in a 20-minute video, which we've always managed to resolve, to be fair. Still, this scraping practice, in a sense, is digital piracy on steroids, and Disney must have figured out that if you can't beat them, join them, because with this OpenAI deal, they're doing the exact same thing. Where they in the past would sue anyone who made a fan film they objected to in any way for whatever reason, ask Star Wars Theory about that, they now essentially encourage such fan films, as long as they like the end result, and it's made in Sora, so they can monetize it themselves, at fan expense. Legal it may be, but whatever mortal high ground Disney may have had against the AI companies is now gone. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And before you go, remember to stock up on cocoa flavanols, as for the next 48 hours, you can get 40% off your next order. Link is in the description and pinned comment.